Hello, today I'm going to review the recent Western movie called The Revenant. Now, I had so much fun watching Western movies for many years ever since I was a kid. We usually get some good Western movies, but we also do get some bad ones as well. So I am very interested to see The Revenant ever since I saw the trailers. Now, of course, this film had a limited release on December 2015 and later got a nationwide release on January 2016. I went to see it with my uncle, and what do I think of this movie? I think this movie is fantastic and also one of the best Western movies I ever saw. Now I'm going to tell you why I love this movie. The story of this film took place in the Old Western, and it's based on a true story about Hugh Glass, and it's all about survival and revenge. It starts off where Hugh and his half-breed Native American son go out for hunting along with their hunting team. However, they were later attacked by a group of Native Americans, and Hugh, his son, and a few of his hunting team managed to escape. Later on, Hugh goes out hunting by himself until he got attacked by a bear. Hugh finally killed the bear that attacks him, but it was fatally injured. Since Hugh got hurt so badly, one of his hunting team named John Fitzgerald decided to abandon him so he can let Hugh die and suffer, and John eventually killed Hugh's son. So Hugh must journey on to find a way to survive and get revenge on John for killing his son and leaving him to die. I felt the story of this film was very well told. Though there are a few parts in this film that were a bit dragged, there are parts in this film that do have some exciting moments. It is very interesting to see that people in this film who speaks English, French, and Native American. Plus there are some parts in this film that do remind me of other films like The Edge and The Grey, another movie that took place in the snow. Now moving on for the special effects and action scenes. The special effects in this film are really good. It's very interesting to note that they use both CGI and practical effects. Unlike The Edge where they use a real bear that is trained, the bear in this film is fully CGI. I could definitely tell that there are other animals that are in both CGI and animatronics. I really like the cinematography in this film, especially the beautiful snowy landscape. The costume designs are very creative because it fits the mood on the time of the Old Western. As for the action scenes, it was very brutal and intense. I really do like the fight scenes, the gun shooting scenes, the hunting scenes, and the chase scenes. Interestingly, a lot of scenes in this film are all in one shot. This is definitely the best editing I had ever seen in a film. The best part of this film is where Hugh Glass was attacked by a bear. That bear attack scene was so dirty, insane, graphic, and nail-biting. While The Hateful Eight is one of the most violent movies I have ever saw, this movie is even more violent. Now let's get to the acting, directing, and music. Let's start with Hugh Glass played by Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he did an amazing job playing that character Hugh Glass, who was a hunting explorer that was saddened over the death of his beautiful Native American wife as well as his son who was murdered by John and wants to avenge him. He's really good at hunting, fighting, and finding the way to survive. This is the third time Leonardo DiCaprio has ever been in a Western movie after The Quick of the Dead and Django Unchained. Then there's the villain, John Fitzgerald, played by Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy did an outstanding job playing that cold-hearted hunter who abandoned Hugh. His performance as John was so evil, menacing, and selfish. He often treated everybody like garbage and only cared about himself. This is the second time Tom Hardy is doing a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio after Inception. Tom Hardy is really good at playing both heroes and villains. Others like Captain Andrew Henry, played by Domhnall Gleeson, Jim Bridger, played by Will Poulter, who was from The Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and Elk Dog, played by Dwan Howard, all did a great job as well. Captain Andrew was the leader of the hunting group who's in command. Jim was one of Hugh's hunting parties who followed John's orders. Elk Dog was the leader of the Native Americans for leading his group to search for someone. It's very cool to see that the Native Americans in this film are not portrayed as villains, but rather normal human beings who does not like those outsiders taking over their land. It was also nice to see how the Native Americans does in their culture, like hunting and eating raw meat. Alejandro G. Inarritu, who directed Birdman last year, which he won an Oscar for, did an incredible job directing this movie. He's really good at making movies so dark and thrilling. The music composed both by a Japanese composer and a German composer was so beautiful, haunting, and intense. Overall, this is a fantastic Western movie. It's one of the darkest movies I have ever seen. It's also one of the best revenge movies I ever saw, and the best movie about Native Americans since Dances with Wolves and The Last of the Mohicans. I even loved this movie more than The Hateful Eight. While The Hateful Eight was great, I enjoyed The Revenant a lot more. This film has already had 12 nominations at the Oscars. Hopefully, Leonardo DiCaprio will finally win the Oscar for his performance as Hugh Glass, because seriously, he really needs it. If you're a fan of Western, go see it. So I get this movie 4.5 out of 5 nuclear bomb.